When a man stops reaching out, the truth reveals itself. A woman who values him will notice his absence and take action. If she doesn't, she was never truly invested. Walking away isn't weakness, it's self-respect. When a man stops reaching out, something powerful begins to unfold. It is in his absence that the truth of a woman's feelings is revealed. Every relationship, every connection thrives on the balance of pursuit and response. When that balance is disrupted, when the calls stop, when the messages no longer appear, the reaction on the other side speaks volumes. It is in this space of silence that emotions come to the surface, unfiltered and real. A woman, whether she realizes it or not, responds to energy. When a man is consistently reaching out, checking in, initiating conversation, she becomes accustomed to it. It becomes a rhythm, an expectation. But when that rhythm is interrupted, when the daily good morning texts disappear, when the usual check-ins no longer come, it forces a shift in perspective. It is in that shift where the truth is revealed. If she values the man, she will notice the absence almost immediately. There will be a moment of realization, a recognition that something feels different. She will question the silence, wonder what changed, and most importantly, she will feel the void left behind. If there was a true emotional connection, if there was genuine interest, she will take action. She may reach out, even subtly, just to see if he is still there. She may send a simple message, find a reason to reconnect, or even express concern. Her actions will be driven by the emotions stirred by his absence. But if she does nothing, if she doesn't notice, or worse, if she notices and still doesn't act, that is also an answer. It means that his presence was not significant enough to make an impact. And that is the kind of truth that cannot be ignored. It is easy to convince oneself that someone cares based on words, but actions always reveal the reality of a person's heart. When a man stops reaching out, he is not just testing a woman's interest, he is also reclaiming his own value. A man who constantly chases risks being taken for granted, but a man who knows his worth understands that true connection is never one-sided. He does not beg for attention. He does not force communication. Instead, he allows space for genuine reciprocation. This is why absence is powerful. It is not about playing games or manipulating emotions. It is about creating a natural opportunity for clarity. A woman who values a man will always make sure he knows it. She will not let silence be the final word. And if she does, then the absence has done its job. It has exposed the reality of the connection. A man who pulls back is not losing anything. He is simply allowing the truth to surface. And in that truth, he finds his answer. People naturally chase what they perceive as valuable. This is a fundamental truth of human nature. The things that hold the highest worth in our eyes are the things we are willing to invest time, effort, and energy into. Relationships are no different. When a man stops reaching out, when he removes himself from the equation, a woman's reaction will tell him exactly where he stands in her life. If she truly values him, she will not allow silence to be the final word. In the beginning, when a man is constantly initiating, calling, texting, and making an effort, it sets a certain dynamic. She becomes accustomed to the attention, and in some cases, she may even take it for granted. Not necessarily out of bad intentions, but simply because it is human nature to grow comfortable with what is readily available. The true test comes when that effort is withdrawn. When a man pulls back, he is no longer feeding the dynamic that she has become used to. Suddenly there is a gap, a missing piece in her daily routine. If she truly sees him as valuable, she will recognize that gap and feel the loss. It won't just be a matter of missing a text or a call. It will be an emotional shift. She will start to wonder why things have changed, why his attention is no longer freely given, and most importantly, what she must do to restore that connection. On the other hand, if she does nothing, if she does not notice or does not care, that is a clear indicator that she never truly valued the connection in the first place. A person will always act to keep what they find valuable. This is why a man must never beg for attention. If a woman does not move towards him when he stops reaching out, then she was never emotionally invested to begin with. This is not about playing games or trying to manipulate emotions. It is about understanding one's own worth. A man who knows his value does not force someone to see it. He allows them the space to recognize it on their own. If they do, they will take action. If they don't, then he has his answer. And it is better to walk away than to chase someone who does not see his worth. By stepping back, a man allows the natural course of the relationship to unfold. He gives her the opportunity to show whether she values him enough to pursue him in return. Love, respect, and appreciation must be mutual. If they are not, then the relationship was never built on a solid foundation to begin with. A woman who truly sees a man as valuable will never let his absence go unnoticed. She will feel it and she will act on it. If she doesn't, then he has lost nothing. Because what is truly valuable does not need to be chased. It naturally attracts and sustains itself. When a man stops reaching out, the way a woman responds reveals everything about how she truly feels. Emotions are not always expressed through words. Actions tell the real story. A woman may say she cares, she may say she enjoys your presence, but when the effort is no longer one-sided, when the calls and texts stop, her behavior will speak louder than anything she has ever said. If she truly values the connection, she will notice the absence. She will feel it, even if she does not immediately react. There will be an awareness, a realization that something has changed. The daily interactions that she once took for granted will suddenly become something she misses. If she has an emotional attachment, that attachment will make her take action. She will check in, she will send a message, she will find an excuse to reconnect. Even if it is something small, it will be a clear sign that she has noticed the difference and is unwilling to let the distance grow. If she does nothing, if she notices but chooses to remain silent, if she feels the absence but does not make an effort to bridge the gap, that is a response in itself. Indifference is the loudest answer a person can give. A woman who does not care about losing your presence has already made her decision. A man never has to wonder where he stands with someone who values him because she will make it known. But when his absence is met with silence, he has been given his answer, and it is not one that should be ignored. This is the power of emotional response versus indifference. Emotion drives action. When people care, they act. When they are invested, they make an effort. If a woman truly wants a man in her life, she will not let him fade away without doing something about it. Even if pride holds her back initially, the deeper emotions will eventually push her to react. She may reach out subtly, or she may directly express that she noticed the shift. Either way, her actions will show that the connection held meaning for her. If a man stops reaching out and there is no response, he must accept that reality. It may be difficult, but it is also a blessing. It saves him time, effort, and energy that could be better spent on someone who truly appreciates his presence. It eliminates the need for guessing, for questioning, for chasing someone who was never emotionally invested in the first place. A man must understand that his time and energy are valuable. He should never have to beg for someone's attention or force a connection. If he pulls away and she does not care, then the truth has been revealed. And in that truth, he finds his freedom. He is no longer bound by illusions, no longer chasing something that was never meant to be. He can walk away knowing that real love, real connection, will never be met with indifference. It will always be met with action. Respect is not something that can be demanded. It is something that is earned through actions, mindset, and self-worth. In relationships, a man's constant pursuit can sometimes lead to being taken for granted. When he is always the one initiating, always the one chasing, he unknowingly sets a dynamic where his presence is expected but not necessarily valued. However, when he pulls back, when he stops reaching out, everything changes. This is when he discovers whether he was truly respected or merely tolerated. When a man continually makes an effort while receiving little to no reciprocation, he is sending a message that he is willing to accept less than he deserves. The more he chases without receiving effort in return, the more he lowers his own value in the eyes of the woman. People by nature do not value what is always available to them without any effort. The things that require work, patience, and effort are the things that hold the most meaning. This is why respect is earned, not given freely. When a man stops reaching out, he sets a standard. He is no longer begging for attention, no longer positioning himself as someone who will tolerate being overlooked or taken for granted. His absence forces a shift in dynamic. Either he will be missed and the woman will realize his worth, or she will not, which is a clear sign that she never truly valued him in the first place. In either case, the man gains something priceless: clarity. A woman who respects a man will never allow his presence to be undervalued. If she genuinely appreciates him, she will notice when he steps back, and she will take action to ensure he knows he is valued. She will not wait for him to chase. She will meet him halfway, because mutual respect is the foundation of any meaningful connection. However, if she does not respond at all, that is a reflection of how little she valued the relationship. A man who respects himself will not try to convince someone to care about him. He will not plead for attention or lower his standards to maintain a one-sided connection. True respect is built on balance. A man who constantly gives without receiving anything in return is not in a balanced relationship. He is simply giving away his energy to someone who does not appreciate it. By stepping back, he creates space for the woman to show whether she truly respects him enough to put in effort. This is why self-respect is more powerful than words. It is not about punishing someone or playing mind games. It is about recognizing one's own worth and refusing to settle for less. Attraction and desperation exist on opposite ends of the spectrum. The more a man chases, the less desirable he becomes. The more he seeks validation, the less value he holds in the eyes of the woman he is pursuing. This is because true attraction is built on confidence, self-sufficiency, and the ability to walk away when something is not reciprocated. A man who constantly reaches out, who is always the one initiating, who never allows space for the woman to invest in him, runs the risk of appearing desperate rather than desirable. Desperation is unattractive because it signals a lack of options, a lack of self-worth, and a fear of loss. When a man behaves as though he needs a woman's attention to feel valued, he gives away his power. He places his self-worth in her hands, and in doing so, he lowers his own appeal, A woman does not respect or desire a man who appears needy. She may tolerate him, she may even enjoy the attention, but she will never truly see him as someone she deeply admires or desires. On the other hand, attraction is rooted in a sense of purpose, confidence, and independence. A man who knows his value does not need to chase endlessly. He understands that his time and energy are precious, and he only invests in people who show equal interest. When he stops reaching out, when he allows the woman to take the next step, he is not playing games. He is demonstrating his self-worth. He is showing that he does not need to beg for attention because he is a man of value. A confident man does not fear loss because he understands that what is truly meant for him will never require desperate pursuit. He knows that attraction is a two-way street, that a woman